to become WWE champion back on the premiere of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox back in October. So this was the first time that they had faced off, and this, I guess they'd say, would this be his chance for redemption. So
Kofi actually lasted a little bit.
So Kofi would last a little bit here.
He actually hit him with the. He hit him with his finish too.
Yeah, and then next would be Rey Mysterio, and then I want
to say this: we didn't get a Kofi spot.
Yeah, we didn't get a crazy Kofi spot. Maybe they felt in this year it wasn't really needed, especially because he wasn't going to be in there like super long, and he was just doing this thing with Brock.
Yeah, but it was still kind of disappointing.
Oh yeah, because you always want to see that. That, or since Morrison is back, you probably want to see something with him.
Yeah.
Because he also would do those crazy spots. But so we'd have Big E following, so he'd have his tag team partner, and of course the other half of the SmackDown tag team champs. The three of them would hit a series of moves. Of course, Kofi would get him with he got him with Trouble in Paradise, right?
Yeah, he did.
And then Big E would get him with the big ending, which would set up the 619. I still got the feeling that they weren't going to, like...
No, I knew they weren't going to eliminate Brock here.
Yeah, yeah, because I knew that was going to happen. But
I did think they were going to let the ring fill up a bit, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, I started to hope that was going to happen, then Brock would eliminate all three of them. So Brock would actually get the first 11 eliminations in a row. Actually, no. Make that 13.
Yeah, he tied Braun.
Yeah.
Before he got eliminated.
Although I think that Braun record in a way is kind of unfair because he did like in a 50-man Rumble.
Yeah, that's true.
That, and I guess they consider the greatest Rumble a actual Royal Rumble event, which if that's the case is probably the worst one, but maybe not particularly the match, but just the show.
Yeah.
But getting back to this, so Kofi, Rey, Big E, they'd all go out. Number 9 would be Cesaro. He'd come down the ring. They kind of talk him up a bit. You knew he was going right out too.
Yeah, exactly.
And then number 10 was Shelton Benjamin. So we're a third of the way through here. Of course, they'd say it was like a reunion between the two because they were both college. They
were Minnesota Gophers, right?
What was that?
Weren't they Minnesota Gophers?
Oh yeah, they both went to college together, and of course, in Ohio Valley Wrestling, they're actually a tag team together. So they're saying it's kind of like a reunion of them. You knew Brock was going to turn on him, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Then he'd eliminate him. Next, we'd have the Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura enter, and he'd eliminate him. Kind of going back to my point of how like mid-card champions are like undervalued.
Well, it is Brock. Brock just beats the crap out of everybody.
Oh yeah,
it's not like
yeah. Then number 12 here we'd actually have a cool surprise here. MVP would appear for the first time in many years.
Now, is this a one-time thing?
I hope not, but I kind of get the feeling it is. But it was great hearing that music again, man. Yeah, that was great hearing that. But it was also funny because during his entrance, Brock would just start dancing to his music a little bit. That was kind of funny. Then number 13.
He'd get in the ring, Brock would throw him out.
Oh, yeah, he'd eliminate him. Which you knew that was going to happen too. But, cool to see MVP back. Very underrated in my opinion. I thought back in like many years ago, 07, 08, like they should have built him up to being a world champion. Then 13, we'd have Keith Lee, the new North American champion. So,
this is when it got interesting. I was ready for this.
Oh, yeah, because I completely forgot the possibility of him maybe possibly being in it. So I thought this was cool when he entered, and of course he'd remain in there for a little. And then Braun Strowman would come in at number 14, the winner of the Greatest Royal Rumble in 2018, a couple years ago. But Brock would then eliminate both of them at the same time, and he's actually lucky he caught himself because he almost could have probably eliminated himself.
That would have been ridiculous.
But when he eliminated those two, I'm like, oh my God, now who is going to eliminate him at this point? Because we're like about halfway through here, man. And I'm just like, what? Because at this point, I'm convinced he's going all the way. Maybe not necessarily, not even particularly like winning it, but I was just kind of like, he's going to go down to the final two or whatever. So then Ricochet would enter at number 15. I thought he was just going to be like the rest of the pack. I thought he was going to be like the John Morrisons and them, and like where he'd just get eliminated right away. But somehow Lesnar would not eliminate him, and he'd stay in there, and then McIntyre would enter. Then this is when I started to get a little excited, but at the same time I got a little nervous because I'm like, Because remember, I'd love if Drew got this big push and this big opportunity.
You've been saying that for years.
Yes, we've been saying this for I've been feeling this way for like a decade. I was really hoping he'd get this opportunity, but like at the time, I'm like, oh God, is Brock just gonna eliminate him? Then it just comes down to him and like Roman or something. Because I thought it was gonna. I thought Roman Reigns was the favorite to win this. And probably in some ways he was, but so then Drew. Well, first Ricochet would low blow him, and then Drew McIntyre would hit the Claymore and he'd eliminate Brock in the process. And I popped like crazy.
So did I.
I was just super stoked. See, at this point, I have made a point on this show, especially in last week's edition of JNC Radio. I had made the point that I thought that whoever eliminated Brock would go on to win the whole thing. Because I thought it'd just go hand in hand and make sense, you know. But so then there's that. But then number 17 would be The Miz. So Ricochet would get eliminated by Drew McIntyre. The Miz kind of got eliminated like right away too, which I thought was kind of strange.
Yeah, so did I.
So they must have not thought that there was really any place for him in this, and they just must not have had anything for him.
Uh-huh.
The next would be AJ Styles, of course. You knew now this is the one guy I was convinced was not going to go out right away. I thought he would last in there for quite a bit.
Yeah, and he did.
Not one of his lengthier appearances, but he was still in there for a while.
I think he got hurt.
Yeah, I heard that could have been the case.
You could see the refs talking to him, and then he got eliminated right after that by a certain someone we'll get to. But
yeah, so the 19 we had Dolph Ziggler. Of course, Robert Roode was earlier in the Rumble.
Dolph's the guy you can always count on to go deep in a Rumble if you ever need him to.
Yes. Big endurance guy. Then number 20, we had Carl Anderson, so AJ would look to get some help from one of his OC group members. And then number 21. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
On this day, we saw clearly.
You think you know me.
Yes. The moment of the whole entire night. This may set the tone for like this. I don't know if we'll see anything else the rest of the year that tops this for me, honestly.
The rated R
Superstar.
Edge made his return.
First time competing in a ring in 9 years since 2011.
Ever since he had to leave early because of his neck injury, and I have to say, when that music hit and you saw the smoke coming up and him running each side of the stage doing the... Yeah. And then, dude, when you saw the jacket and the red pants with the R on him and the long hair.
Oh, my God. It just all felt so right. And he was just soaking up everything.
He looked so happy.
And not only did he look happy, that guy looked amazing. Like, he is in great physical condition.
Honestly, he looked good in the ring, too, selling his moves. He still hits a spear good.
I know. So
he gets in there. The cameraman missed Edge's first spear back.
Oh, yeah. Screw that guy, whoever that was.
Right? That was awful. He missed a few spears. I was like, what the hell are you doing? This is Edge. I don't care about some fan.
Right.
Let me see Edge spear somebody.
I know.
I've seen it in 9 years.
I know. Like, they showed the fans enough, like, when he was, like, coming down to the ring. It's like, once he got to, like ringside or once he got to the steps, they shouldn't be showing the crowd anymore.
It was cool to see the pyro, too.
Oh, yes, the pyro. And, of course, I happen to wear my Rated R Superstar shirt. It's become one of my favorites to wear around, especially recently. It's been one of my favorites of choice. But, of course, I'd heard the rumor. You know, there's always a little bit of hope. But, of course, knowing his history and everything, you couldn't get your hopes up and everything. But, great to see Edge. My favorite wrestler of all time.
Love the pyro.
Yes, truly one of the greatest. Just really happy to see him back, and I'm happy after all this time he has the ability to be able to.
He had a really good performance in the Rumble, getting down to the final 3.
They said he lasted 25 minutes.
And not only that, it was cool to see him and Randy Orton pull out some Rated RKO stuff.
Yeah, because see, not for nothing. I mean, I thought he actually would have been one of the guys who actually kind of went in there and they kind of got rid of him quickly. I thought he was going to come in there, hit a few spears, and then get rid of him.
No, he did some work. Now, interesting enough, what we're talking about is Edge spears AJ, and then AJ goes over to the corner.
Oh, AJ sold the crap out of that spear.
Yeah, and then he went over to the corner and started talking to the ref, and then right after talking to the ref, Edge threw him out.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if AJ got hurt. I don't know yet. I'll wait for an insider, to talk about that before I say anything. But, either way, it was so cool to see Edge back.
Yeah.
Like you said, one of the best to ever do it. It was just...
Yeah, what a moment, man.
And my guess would be that we're probably going to see more of Edge.
Yeah, because this was, of course, a Rumble appearance. See, I also said that if the Edge return was going to happen, this was the perfect place for it because he could go in there, I'm not going to lie, they actually didn't take it easy on him, but I thought that, if they were just going to, have him do something, at least he would go in there and he could kind of get out of there unscathed, so, he wouldn't have to really take any, serious, damage or bumps or anything.
I have to say this. Thank God he didn't come back with short hair.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't have felt right. But yeah,
but anyway,
he looked great, man. He hit the ring. He'd hit Drew, Dolph, and Carl Anderson with spears.
Didn't he? Yeah, it was just.
And then he'd have a stare down with AJ. What a moment there. Then they'd score off. AJ would hit a Pele kick. AJ would charge Edge, but he'd duck. AJ would then come around and hit him with the spear, and AJ, he saw that beautifully.
Yeah.
Then number 22, we'd have King Corbin enter. Of course, he was in the opening match earlier in the night.
I thought he was going to eliminate Edge.
I did too.
Yeah, and I was like, I thought there was going to be a way to get heat, but he did get heat for eliminating somebody else.
Yeah, he got rid of one of the bigger baby faces they have around, which would be the next entrant, which was Matt Riddle. You want to talk about another NXT guy who just kind of came in there and really didn't do anything. He came in and hit a couple moves, but he didn't eliminate anybody really, so... Number 24, we'd have Luke Gallows, so...
Yeah, another OC guy, that, not a big deal.
Yeah, unfortunately, The number 25, we'd have Randy Orton, and this is when things would get interesting. Yeah, we'd have a rated RKO reunion. Which, once again, what another moment, man.
The two of them just talking to each other, smiling and laughing.
Yeah, and then, of course, they both do, a double RKO. And then they both help each other set each other up for moves, and Roman Reigns would enter at number 26. Number 27 was Kevin Owens.
Oh, wait, before you go further. Number 26. Yeah. The big dog!
Oh, yeah. I was waiting for that line.
Yeah.
Then we had number 28 was Aleister Black. Then we had Samoa Joe at number 29. And then once it got to 30, he obviously knew it was Rollins. It's what's the one guy who hasn't come in yet? So then Rollins would come in, but he wouldn't be alone. He'd bring his faction
Inner Circle 2.0 with him. And then after that, they'd keep him in a few times. They'd help him get opponents out, just being annoying. But then after they eliminated, my guess is we're probably going towards a Seth and his three guys against Joe, Kevin, and two other guys in Mania.
There was a rumor about that. I don't think I'm too keen on that, but...
I mean, it looks like that's what we're going to get, though.
Because if they do AJ and Edge, then yeah, that's what's going to happen.
But so what happened is they came out, they helped them eliminate a lot of guys, and then eventually Aleister Black, Joe, and Kevin Owens helped get AOP and Buddy Murphy to the back. By the way, Buddy Murphy needs new gear. He looks really weird walking with AOP and Seth.
Yeah, he does, actually.
They're in, all black, and he's in this weird,
And I'm still kind of confused by that decision of them making them Raw Tag Team Champions, because why make them Raw Tag... Maybe they're trying to push Buddy Murphy, but it's why make them Raw Tag Team Champions when you have the AOP, who's an actual tag team? Not two guys who just team together for the first time.
Unless they're going to do it like their old tag team champions.
Yeah. I mean, there is that, but... As far as this Monday Night Messiah gimmick and this faction that Rollins has, I don't really know what to make of it yet. I don't hate it, but I don't really like it either.
We'll see. I think it has to get going a bit more, and we'll just see what it does.
Yes.
It's young.
Yeah, no, it still is. Yeah, so they get some heat instantly by helping them eliminate Aleister Black, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe. Then
like I said, they make Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and Aleister Black get AOP and Buddy Murphy up the ramp and to the back.
Yeah, so that was good.
And then Seth is surrounded by Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Edge, and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And they proceed to kick the crap out of him.
Yeah, say the very least.
I think he tried to be like Shield Brothers and Roman hit him with a Superman punch.
Uh-huh.
I think he got hit by Drew. I don't even remember the sequence of moves. I just know that